Welcome to your Pinterest 30-day roadmap. If you're just getting started with Pinterest for your business and you're not exactly sure what to do, this video has you covered. I'm going to walk you through a simple Pinterest marketing strategy for your first 30 days so you can get your account set up correctly, build out your boards and pins, and figure out a cadence that works for you. Hi, I'm Max. I help bloggers, online sellers, and affiliate marketers get their content seen without burning out. If that sounds like your vibe, now's a great time to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to do in your first 30 days on Pinterest. We'll cover how to create a Pinterest business account and optimize your profile so it has the best chances of getting seen, how to do effective keyword research and where to put those keywords, how to create boards and pins, as well as some of Pinterest's best practices. And finally, I'll walk you through when to check your analytics and how to know if your account is performing well or what needs to change. Sound good? Let's get into it. And a quick disclaimer before we start. Everything in this video is a suggestion based on best practices and what's working for accounts with similar goals. This is not a guarantee that your account is going to skyrocket or that you'll see a specific result. It's just exactly what I would do in my first 30 days. And one more note. This plan isn't meant to stretch across 30 slow days where you pin your first pin on day 30. I want you pinning as soon as possible, ideally within your first week. So if you can, map out one day, even just a weekend afternoon, to get your account set up, do some keyword research, and come up with a rough plan for your first pins. Once the groundwork is done, everything after it moves a lot faster. The first thing you need is a Pinterest business account. It's completely free to set up, and you need this for two reasons. First, it gives you access to special features like Pinterest Analytics, the option to run ads later, the ability to legally post your affiliate links, and the option to claim your website if you've got a blog or shop. Second, it creates a niched account, which is one of the strongest signals telling Pinterest who you are, what you promote, and who to show your pins to. If you already have a personal account that you absolutely love, you can convert it in your settings, but I wouldn't suggest this unless it's already highly niched to your audience. I'd suggest starting fresh instead and telling Pinterest exactly who you are from the beginning. If you need a step-by-step walkthrough of how to set up your business account, we just released a video and I'll include that link in the description below. Once your account is set up, you're gonna wanna optimize your profile. What this means is placing strategic keywords in your name, in your bio, in your board names, and in your board descriptions. This will tell Pinterest more about your content, and in turn, Pinterest can then show your content to the right people. The more specific your keywords are, the better. For example, a lifestyle blogger covering 20 topics might feel cohesive to them, but it will read unclear to Pinterest, whereas a gluten-free recipes account will appeal to a very specific audience. And then Pinterest can easily share your account with the right people. So niching down is not limiting yourself, it's just creating a simplified way to tell Pinterest about your target audience and target purchaser. After you set up your account, you'll want to create some boards. Boards are simply the categories or folders that hold your pins, like gluten-free desserts, gluten-free breakfast, gluten-free dinners, gluten-free snacks. You'll want to start with 5 to 10 boards and build around topics that you're actually going to create for, putting keywords in each title of the board and board description too, similar to what we did in your profile. Only create a board once you're ready to put pins in it. Don't just build them out for the sake of organization. If you don't know all your board names yet, that's okay. You can start to name them after we've done some keyword research, which we're about to cover next. Next, you're gonna wanna do some keyword research so you're using the right words to talk to Pinterest and to your audience. The easiest way to find keywords is to type directly into the Pinterest search bar and see what autocompletes. This is what people are already searching for and using their own words. So I'd suggest picking 3 to 5 of these variations and naturally including them in your pin titles, pin descriptions, board names, and board descriptions too. Pinterest Trends is another free option if you wanna plan ahead, like looking up for Father's Day gifts or Christmas gift ideas before the season actually hits. And finally, Pin Generator has a free keyword research tool you can use whether or not you've got a paid plan. It gives you search volume and related terms, so if you like having the numbers in front of you, this one is worth looking at. And I'll include links to video walkthroughs of keyword research in the description below. And while you're researching, take a moment to look past the keywords and notice the pin. Check out the aesthetic that keeps showing up in your niche. Is it minimalist? Is it colorful? Is there text on the screen or not? Look at the call to actions that other accounts are using. For example, if you search a keyword like meal prep ideas, you'll probably notice that some of the top pins use bright, high contrast images with bold text stating exactly what the pin is about. This isn't an accident. It's telling you what this particular audience responds to, and then you can apply that information or same thinking to your own niche, whatever it happens to be. So from here, I often jot down 5 to 10 keywords for each pin so I can use these as variations. Think of it as your own little keyword bank that you can pull from every time you sit down and create. So keyword research might take a little bit longer in the setup, but it doesn't need to eat up your whole day, and you don't have to do this every time. And remember, try a few keywords and you can always adjust with your your next batch or the following month. Create your pins. Now that you have your keywords in place, it's time to actually pin. Somewhere between 1 and 3 pins per day is a great starting point. Pinning less is completely fine too. I'd rather see you pin less and stay consistent than pin too much and go overboard looking like a spammy account, robotic, or someone who just misses the mark. And what you pin and your types of pins really come down to the purpose of your account. For example, if you're posting blog content, your pins are going to point to those blog posts. If you're selling products, your pins are going to promote those products. If you're doing affiliate marketing, your pins are going to point your links to those affiliate products. The goal is never just impressions. It's getting the people off of Pinterest and onto your site or shop. So I would suggest you work backwards from that goal and let your keywords support it. For example, the best pins tend to answer a question or solve a problem that someone's already searching for, not just a pretty pin that sits nice on the board. And like I mentioned before, 20 pins a day will likely get your account flagged at the beginning, so quality and consistency is gonna matter a lot more than volume. So I would try a few pins in the style you notice performing well for your niche and see how they land for your brand. And then you can adjust as needed. When it comes to actually creating the pins, you've got a few options. You can design directly in Pinterest, use Canva's free or paid plan, or what I personally recommend is Pin Generator. You can connect Pin Generator to your site or shop, and it scans your content, learns your brand, and creates branded pins using your own photos and copy or AI-generated versions of them. It has templates that allow you a bit more control over the details, or you can let it freestyle and create more intricate designs using its AI. Whether you use the templates or the AI designer, you always have the chance to review everything before it goes live. If this is something you'd like to learn more about, I'm covering this in our next video, so hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And finally, for your first 30 days, I would save your pins and upload them manually to Pinterest rather than running them through any third-party scheduler, even if it's Pinterest approved. Pinterest tends to favor these manual uploads early on. You can still schedule ahead and you can still plan ahead, just I would not use outside tools in your first 30 days. Totally fine to create the pins there, but schedule and post them from the Pinterest app. If you're not sure how to post a pin correctly, I just covered that in a recent video and I'll include that link in the description below. Analytics. Around the week 4 mark, you're gonna wanna pull up your analytics and get familiar with a few numbers. Impressions come first. This is how many people saw your pin. And this shows you if your keywords and images are getting your pin shown to people in the first place. Nothing really matters if their pins aren't getting seen. From there, you're gonna wanna look at clicks. This tells you whether someone saw the pin and actually cared enough to tap on it. Then there's outbound clicks, and that's the number I'd pay most attention to because this is the point where someone leaves Pinterest and goes to your website, shop, or affiliate link. I'd also keep an eye on saves, even though it's not my top metric, because a save means someone resonated with the pin and they might not be ready to buy, but they certainly wanna come back. And if analytics gets you a little crazy, Pin Generator has a completely free Pinterest audit tool that will give you a quick read of your account, telling you what's working, what's not, and what needs changes. I'll include a link to that in the description below. And remember, it takes 6 to 9 months to really start seeing traction on Pinterest. This is a slow build, not a get-rich-quick kind of platform. I wouldn't start making real decisions based on your numbers until you hit the 90-day mark. That's when you'll have enough data to actually do some meaningful A/B testing and see what works and what doesn't. And if you want a little extra support along the way, we've got 2 free resources for you. A 5-email Pinterest mini course that will help you drive traffic and sales, and a free 3-month Pinterest growth plan that walks through everything we covered today in a lot more detail. I'm gonna include both of those links in the description below. Again, if this video helped, now's a great time to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this. I'm Max. I share weekly Pinterest marketing videos to help you get your content seen without burning out. I'll see you next week. Let's get generating.